What's up everybody, it's your boy Phil Porto, photographer, videographer, and educator. And on today's quick tip, I want to talk about 5 pieces of gear that this guy has to have at every single wedding. So I want to clarify 2 things. The first, this is not 5 pieces of gear that are gonna make you a dope photographer, a great photographer, an award-winning photographer, okay? I know that a lot of times people are just using, YouTube to find the quick way to be successful at something. This is not what that is. If you are a good photographer, this can, help you in your process. If you are a bad photographer, this can probably keep you being a bad photographer. For me personally, it didn't make me a good photographer, but these are pieces of gear that I feel help me to do my job in excellence. They help me to do my job a little bit better and a little bit more efficiently, and they work for me. They are not going to be pieces of gear that make you a great photographer or keep you from being a great photographer. I have some friends who don't use any of these products and they still do great work. So that's my first preface, is these 5 things are not going to be things that will automatically make you great, but I do feel like using these, or at least trying them out and see if they would work for you, can help you be able to achieve something greater. So that being said, I'm not going to talk about the obvious, okay? Yes, we need cameras. That's not going to be one of my 5 necessary pieces of gear that I'm going to talk about today. For me personally, it's a Fuji camera, but I'm not going to plug Fuji over and over and over again on this. I'm also not going to talk about memory cards and, batteries, like the obvious things that we need at a wedding. So we're gonna skip those things. If those are things that you are still unaware that you need, this video may not be the greatest thing for you. You might wanna go back a little bit, search, how to be a photographer first, and then kind of go from there. But for me personally, these are gonna be 5 pieces of gear that I enjoy using because I feel like they continue to help me to get the look that I want to execute. So we're gonna go straight into the first piece of gear. And this is actually not just one item, it's actually a group of items that I put in the category of 1 piece of gear. Some of you may know, some of you may not. I am a Holdfast ambassador. I do not get paid by Holdfast. They are not sponsoring this video. I do not talk about how great their products are because I'm getting some kind of compensation for it. I talk about it because I've been a long-lasting fan of Holdfast way before I was an ambassador. I've been using the Holdfast Moneymaker since I first found out about it when they first released their first Moneymaker strap years and years ago. So Holdfast is the first product that I'm going to talk about. First is the Moneymaker. I constantly use a Moneymaker. If you've seen any of my videos behind the scenes, you see that I use a Moneymaker, like this guy right here. All right, this thing is baller. This is the Yoda edition of the Moneymaker Holdfast strap. So the reason I love the Holdfast strap is it allows me to have 2 cameras on at one time. Typically it's a wide and then something a little bit tighter, and I can just change back and forth. I don't have to stop and switch out a lens and then kind of spoil the moment or miss the mood. And then on top of that, okay, I will say there are a lot of companies that have copied them, and not to knock any of them, but for me personally, if you're being knocked off, it's because you're doing something great in the first place. So for me, I'm gonna go with the OG. I'm gonna go with the innovator. I'm gonna go with the one that has been proven time and time again to put out great products. So the Holdfast Moneymaker is on me all the time. I have a whole wall full of different Moneymakers, and it's kind of an addiction of mine. But I love the Holdfast Moneymaker, and so that's one of the pieces of gear. And then the second, later on in the day, I want to keep that same look, I want to keep that same feel and that same efficiency. So I take off the Moneymaker once I get to a point where it's dance floor time at a reception, and I slap this thing on right here. This is just the wrist strap. I typically have a matching one to the Holdfast Moneymaker. Keep the whole look and aesthetic consistent. Me, I'm kind of a fashion junkie, so that's important to me. Some people it might not be, but for me it is. I want to look the part when I'm out there killing it at a wedding. And so there's other Holdfast products too, but the next one that I want to say is a must for me has recently been released. It's called the Quiver Bag. The Quiver Bag has these two pockets in the front that you can put different lenses in and kind of just pull them out as you need them. Then it has a pouch in the middle where I typically keep either batteries or my light or a speaker, because you never know what's going to happen in a schedule, so I always want to be prepared. And then there's another pouch as well where I keep my memory cards and just a ton of things that you can do with this strap. Back in the day, there was a product that was released where it kind of had the idea of being able to grab, you know, lenses as you go. First, it was a cool idea, but it looked horrible. Like, it looked cheap, it looked unprofessional, so I stopped using it. On top of the fact that I used the moneymaker and that kind of went across your whole body, and so it kind of stopped the moneymaker from being able to pull up the different lenses. This one attaches to the back of the moneymaker so that you're able to just reach behind and grab what you need. So for me, Holdfast is the #1 piece of gear that I need to have at every single wedding. Now moving on to the second. The second is this little guy right here. All right, so some of you might know what this is off the bat, some of you may not. And so for me, I love this, okay? So this is a flat lay that I had hand painted by a local company here in Florida. They no longer do it, so I'm going to include a link of maybe some others that you could take a look at. But they are so beneficial for me. I want my whole collection from start to finish to look top notch. And sometimes you get to a place and you go to do detail shots and all of the furniture, all the textures are just off or horrible. Or it's like an important family member's house, but it doesn't really have anything of character that is going to look good in the photos. So for me, I don't want to take that risk. If I get somewhere and I see a really cool like velvet couch or something like that, I'm gonna use it. But I don't want to show up and be like, oh, well, they get this wicker chair or this mediocre table because I didn't have anything else. No, I bring one for the bride, one for the groom, so that I know that all the detail photos come out top notch. Okay, let me be real. I know we've had this conversation in Facebook groups and whatnot. No, I am not a huge fan of detail photos. I don't get super excited for detail photos, as in like I don't look at them and go, oh my gosh, a detail photo. However, I do know that these are pieces of clothing, memories, keepsakes that this bride, groom, they're only going to use these pieces of, you know, clothing or jewelry or anything like that on that wedding day. So it is super important to them, which means that it's super important to me, okay? I am not worried about what I really think about a detail photo in those moments. I am more focused on why these things are important to the couple and making sure that I highlight them in the best capacity that I can. So I will always keep a flat lay on me on a wedding day. Third, this right here. Polar Pro, Peter McKinnon, ND filter, okay? I was not really a fan of many ND filters for a long time. I was always worried that they were gonna kind of ruin the quality of my photos. I always felt like they might be engineered well, but you know, they're not really done by, you know, photographers. You know, they are mostly created by people that make gear for photographers. When Polar Pro came out with this and they sent me a copy to take a look at, I fell in love with it. Like, especially shooting in Florida a lot, where the sun can just be, you know, an eyesore. Having this ND filter has truly saved the quality of my photos and my videos when there is harsh light. So I love the softness that it creates. I love that it has numerous stops down that I can, you know, be able to use. It's simple, it's easy. It's just a great, you know, tool that I enjoy using, and I love the quality of photos that I'm able to create with this ND filter. So the next is this little guy, all right? This is a JBL Clip 3. I clip it on my Holdfast moneymaker and I just rock with it the whole day. It's a speaker that has multiple functions for me, okay? So a lot of times you'll get to a wedding and the bridal party will be hanging out in a room, listening to music, you know, breaking it down. You know, the other day I was there and they were listening to an old band that I used to listen to, the Rocket Summer, and then they were singing, you know, TLC, I don't want no scrubs, and it was really cool because they were having a blast, and being able to capture, you know, the photos of these, you know, bridal parties just enjoying themselves is awesome. But sometimes you'll get there and no speaker was brought, and they're like, oh man, I wish we just had music to soften the mood, to relax the bride or something like that. And I'm able to just say, hey, I got you. Let's connect to my speaker, play whatever you guys want. And then you just kind of watch the weight kind of come off their shoulders, and they're able to just kind of have a good time. And that happens a lot in portraits as well. I don't know about you, but I don't shoot models all the time when it comes to a wedding day. So they're not used to having this camera in their face all the time. So being able to like set the tone with some music, relax them a little bit, really helps. And for me, there's some things that I do that really brings out the emotion of the couple on the wedding day. So that, you know, speaker is crucial to me. I love using it. It's a real big help on a wedding day. So just something to check out. Last but not least is this guy, okay? If you know me, I am not a huge fan of off-camera flash at a reception. It's just not my vibe, okay? I think for some people it looks great if that's your style. For me, I go for more of a nightclub or a party type feel when it comes to the reception. And so I don't really shoot with off-camera flash at a wedding day. So don't at me at the comments like, oh, you don't know what you're doing. Yes, I can probably do off-camera flash more than a lot of people who do it. I have a studio. I know strobes well. I do most of my commercial work with a strobe system. However, on a wedding day, not my vibe. When a reception is happening at 9 p.m. at night, I don't want it to look like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Just personal preference, okay? However, regardless of my preference, there are times at a reception where that party feel is not going to work. Though my couples love it, they love it at the right time. So it's all about knowing the right time. So for me, having this right here, the MagMod, is huge, okay? If you've never seen a MagMod, then you've never seen a John Branch 4 video, but the MagMod is key, okay? So with the MagMod, what it does is it has this little thing right here called the Mag Sphere, I believe this is called. And so typically with flash, it bounces off the roof, and that, you know, takes a long time for it to go up, travel back down, hit your subject. This right here allows the flash to be at the top, bounced here, and then spread out evenly. Perfect, soft reception lighting. So when a bride and groom are being introduced, or when they're having their first dance, or they're having their parent dances, or they're having their speech, this is on my camera. This is on my flash, and I'm able to create that look that is needed for those important moments. So I typically have this on the camera where it's more of a up close, you know, lens. And then if I'm shooting with something, you know, tighter that needs to be far away, I kind of have this right here, which allows the light to be thrown out. So further distances, it helps me throw out that light and still get that soft feel that I want. So the MagMod is great for stuff like that, and I'm able to, with these 5 pieces of gear, able to create the kind of collections that you guys have seen, that you guys have posted about in the comments that you've enjoyed, and those are 5 things that help me to continue to build on the brand that I have worked really hard for. So I'm going to include links in the description for all 5 of those products. Once again, I'm not making money off of them. However, I want you guys to have the best of the best when it comes to your wedding day setup. So links are in the description. If you have questions, you have concerns, anything like that, you have feedback, you want to tell me that the Knicks suck, you're wrong, but still let me know, hit me up in the comments. If you like what you see, subscribe. If you think it'll help somebody else, have them subscribe. All the love and support that you guys have shown, I appreciate, and you know, I'm open to more of it, so keep it coming. If there's something you think that I need to speak about in here or that would help you, if I did a video on it, please leave it in the comments. I want to create the kind of content you want to see, so just hit me up, and until next time, God bless.